In a museum in Italy, there is a figure of a man sitting on the ground, covering his face with his hands. He is not a statue. No sculptor made him. No artist chose that pose. He is a real person, caught in the exact position of the last second of his life, nearly 2,000 years ago. And he is not alone. There are more than 100 like him. A mother shielding a child, two people reaching for each other, a dog twisted at the end of its chain, a man with a ring still on his finger, curled on his side as if only sleeping. To understand how a whole city of people froze in place, we have to run time backwards. 1,800 years later, the discovery. When archaeologists began digging Pompeii out of the ash, they kept finding something strange. Empty spaces, hollow pockets in the hardened ash with human bones inside, shapes that made no sense to the men digging them up. For years, nobody understood them. Then in 1863, one archaeologist named Giuseppe Fiorelli tried an experiment. He poured liquid plaster into one of the holes, let it harden, and chipped the ash away. What came out was a person. The ash had wrapped around the dying where they fell, and then turned to stone, a perfect mold of their bodies, their clothes, even the expressions on their faces. Every hollow in the ash was a person's final moment, waiting 18 centuries to be seen. Fiorelli's method would go on to reveal over 100 of these casts across the buried city. Men, women, children, even animals, each one a frozen second of a morning that started like any other. So let's go back to that moment, back to the last ordinary morning these people ever had. Pompeii is a wealthy Roman city of around 12,000 people. Baths, theaters, taverns, election slogans painted on the walls. Bread is baking in stone ovens, the loaves still marked with the baker's own stamp. Merchants are setting out their stalls in the forum, calling out prices for wine and oil and fish sauce. In the amphitheater, gladiators are going about their morning routines, unaware they will become some of the most famous casts ever found. Somewhere in the city, a dog is chained in a courtyard, guarding a house whose owners have gone out for the day. And rising behind it, green and peaceful, is the mountain, Vesuvius. Here is the detail that decides everything. The Romans do not know Vesuvius is a volcano. It has been silent for so many generations that its slopes are covered in vineyards. There isn't even a word in Latin for what is about to happen. For days there have been small earthquakes. Wells have gone dry. Dogs are restless. But earthquakes are common here. Nobody connects them to the mountain. How do you run from a danger that your language doesn't have a name for? Around 1 in the afternoon, Vesuvius explodes. A column of ash and superheated rock punches upward, 10 kilometers, 20 past 30 kilometers into the sky, into the edge of the stratosphere. Across the bay, a 17-year-old boy named Pliny watches it rise and writes down what he sees. He says it looks like a colossal pine tree, a trunk of darkness spreading into branches at the top. His uncle, an admiral named Pliny the Elder, commands the Roman fleet stationed nearby. When the reports of people trapped along the coast reach him, he orders his ships turned toward the eruption instead of away from it, sailing directly into the falling ash to try to rescue strangers. It will cost him his life, but his nephew's letters will survive. They are the reason we know this story hour by hour, nearly 2,000 years later. Then the wind pushes the clouds south, directly over Pompeii, and the sky goes out like a lamp. Out of that darkness, stone begins to fall, pumice, volcanic rock so full of gas bubbles that it's light as bread. One piece is harmless, but it is not falling in pieces. It is falling like hail, everywhere, without pause, 15 centimeters deep in the first hour. Then knee-deep. Streets vanish under gray stone. Doors jam shut against the drifts. The air itself turns toxic, thick with sulfur, hard to breathe, forcing people to tie cloth over their mouths just to walk outside. And this is the moment the city splits into two kinds of people. Those who leave now, stumbling out under pillows tied to their heads, into the dark, into the falling stone, feeling their way toward the city gates and the road to the coast. Most of them will live. And those who look at the chaos outside and make the reasonable choice. Stay indoors. Shelter under a solid Roman roof. Wait for it to stop. It is the choice you or I would probably make. It is the wrong one, By nightfall, the pumice on the rooftops is more than a meter deep, and Roman roofs were never built to carry the weight of a beach. Across the city, in the darkness, the roofs begin to fail. The very shelters people chose collapse on top of them. Whole families are buried in the rooms where they sat waiting for the sky to clear, and the survivors, huddled in the rooms that still hold, listening to timber snap somewhere in the dark, tell themselves what people always tell themselves in the middle of a disaster: it has to stop soon. The worst must nearly be over. They are wrong about that too. Everything so far, the darkness, the stone, the collapsing roofs, has only been the overture. In the early hours of the morning, the eruption changes character. The great column of ash, which has been standing on the sky like a pillar all night, begins to collapse under its own weight. And when it falls, it does not fall like rain. It comes down the mountainside as an avalanche of glowing gas and ash, hundreds of degrees hot, faster than anything alive. The first surges destroy the neighboring town of Herculaneum in the night. Along its shoreline, hundreds of people who had fled to the boat sheds, waiting for rescue ships that never came in time, die together in the dark. Then, just after dawn, one of the surges reaches Pompeii. For everyone still in the city, everyone who sheltered, everyone who waited, everyone who survived the terrible night, it ends in the same instant. The heat is so sudden that people are killed between one heartbeat and the next. Mid-step, mid-embrace, hands over their faces. There is no pain long enough to remember, no time to understand what is happening. Only the ordinary world, and then nothing. And then the ash settles over them, gently, meter after meter, and takes the shape of everything it covers. This is what the archaeologists found 18 centuries later. The ash hardened. The bodies inside it faded away, leaving only the space where they had been. And what remained was the shape, a city's worth of final moments, held in stone. The man covering his face, the family in the garden huddled together, the dog at the end of its chain, left behind by owners who never came back for it. A group of 18 people, including children, found together in a single cellar where they had gone, hoping the ground itself might protect them. We put these figures in glass cases, and we call them casts. But look at them long enough, and the truth comes through. They are not statues. They are photographs taken by the ash, developed over 1,800 years, of the exact moment a whole city ran out of time. Walk through the ruins today, and the city is still laid out exactly as it was that morning. Wheel ruts worn into the stone streets, paintings still bright on the walls of houses whose owners never returned to finish their day. A loaf of bread, carbonized but whole, still sitting in an oven nobody ever came back to empty. Vesuvius is still there, still active. And today, more than 3 million people live in its shadow, in towns and suburbs that would be in the direct path of another eruption. The mountain is quiet. It was quiet in the year 79, too.